there's a lot of people out there that are having different struggles. You might be struggling with porn, and I want to say that if you continue listening to Jesus, you will be free from that. It's a promise that he makes in his word. And you might get discouraged, and you might think, listening to the Bible, it's taking a slow time to actually see some fruit. I heard someone say on YouTube that when you plant a seed, sometimes it takes a while for that seed to actually come up out of the ground and a plant to form. And so, everyone has heard the, gospel message, but I would say, okay, if you've been reading the gospel, why don't you try reading the first 5 books of the Bible, looking into the law? Because the reason I mention this, a lot of people kind of get turned away when you hear, look into the law. But in Timothy, it says that the law is good if you are basically unrighteous. And I wouldn't get discouraged hearing, I'm unrighteous, because you have to remember everybody has sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So we have all been unrighteous, and the law is for that. Of course, it will not justify you. You will not be justified before God, but it still has a purpose in our lives. And so I would suggest, looking into the law, the 10 commandments, but there's actually 613 commands in the Bible. And so, I found relief from, just acting out my faith and making some extreme changes in my life, and not just trying to pray problems away. And so, I encourage you to, believe the gospel. Believing means, okay, if Jesus says forgive somebody, forgive them. If you believe something, then you do what that person says, because you believe, okay, it will work. It's not just, necessarily believing, that Jesus exists. That's one part of it. So I hope this helps. Even though I guess I could be labeled as, teaching something, I am more of just, I'm just giving advice, I guess, I'm not necessarily a teacher or anything. Christ is the teacher, Jesus is the teacher. And if you're watching this, I hope it helps to, encourage you to read the Bible more and start doing what it says, and don't give up when you run into a big problem in your life and you're like, whoa, I'm doing the right thing, and, this is happening. God tests our hearts, he tests to see, if we actually remember Abraham, he was tested with his son. He was tested because God said, that at the end of the whole matter, he said, I just did this, to see if you actually feared God, And so right at the last minute, God stopped Abraham from sacrificing his son Isaac. God bless Abraham, and that's a good thing, So God sometimes, even though God knows everything, Jesus still asked Peter if he loved him, even though Peter was like, hey, God knows everything. I think there's still kind of a process in the whole matter, I guess this is the last example I'll give, but in the movie Guide to the Galaxy, the people who end up destroying the earth, it says they have a process, they have paperwork and things like that. I'm not necessarily saying that, I'm sort of implying that sometimes, even though God knows everything, I think he still has a process and, things that he puts us through, even though he may know the outcome, like Job. He knew that Job would not, sin, but he still put him through that process. So I hope that helps somebody, anybody who, is kind of struggling with their, porn problem. I would say, hey, don't deceive yourself, get rid of your laptop. You try to change your life. Don't be on your laptop, especially if it's super big problem. Or it might be, substances, like substance abuse, or maybe abuse turns you off, but it might be you're drinking or something, and that is enabling you. So, I just made this video because I saw a lot of people that, when I put that word in the description, like I got like 30 views, and normally my videos only get like, 1 or 2. So, read the Gospels. Everybody has a Bible, but John the Baptist says only a few listen to it. And so this is not an overnight thing. This is not a 1-year thing. This is not a 5-year thing, so stick with Jesus, and be faithful to Jesus. And honestly, this is a journal. This is a video journal for myself. So Lord willing, I will watch my videos again, and it will help me as well. So Jesus bless you. God bless you. Thank you for watching. And thank you for just looking at this video.